Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Neil. Welcome back to all of you subscribers out there. Today I'm excited. We get to watch episode 9 of Lost. This one's called Solitary. And when I hear that title, my first thoughts immediately go to prison. So let's talk a little bit about prison. It feels like a lot of our characters have experience with prisons, either literal or figurative. Kate was on her way to go to prison, as far as we understand. Would we be at all surprised if Sawyer has spent a little time in jail? I don't think so. Sayid has experience as a torturer, and the only people you ever torture are prisoners, so he's got prison experience from the other side of things. And then there's the figurative prisons that our characters have dealt with. Locke's body when he was a paraplegic, you know, he felt like he was trapped in a prison, not being able to move his legs. Sun's marriage felt like a prison. And this sort of leads me to my next point. Maybe we should be looking at the island like a prison. The vast majority of people want to get off the island. They want to get out of prison. But for some people, for whatever reason, they don't want to leave prison. It's like the old man in Shawshank Redemption, or lifetime criminals in the modern prison systems. Life inside is sometimes easier than life outside, and I think we're not served well if we just automatically assume that everybody who was part of this airplane crash necessarily wants to be rescued. Now, we can speculate about some characters, but I think there's at least two characters in my mind that absolutely would rather stay on the island than be rescued, at least right now. And they are Kate, for the obvious reason that as soon as she's rescued, she's back in custody and she's presumably going back to prison. So I think she'd rather be free on this mysterious island than in jail. And there's Locke. As soon as Locke arrived on the island, even though it was because of an incredibly violent airplane crash, his paraplegism was cured. And we know how seriously he's taking the mystical, supernatural aspect of the island to heart. He really believes in the power of the island. And if he believes in that power so much, it's not a big leap to assume that he believes if he leaves the island, he may go right back into a wheelchair. And you can tell from his flashback to now that Locke is a different man when he can get around on his 2 feet. So, why do I ask this question? Why do I bring up the point of who are the people that may not want to leave? Well, somebody knocked Sayid out just as he was triangulating that signal from 16 years ago. Presumably because somebody doesn't want them to get closer to being rescued. My first instinct is Locke, and I'm still thinking that's the case. I'm pretty sure when the flares went up, Kate was already at the caves trying to save Jack. So I don't think chronologically it would have made any sense that she knocked out Sayid. But we just assume Locke was skinning that boar in the jungle all alone. It's entirely possible that he got away from there, knocked Sayid out, and then put the suspicion on Sawyer in the next episode, which was an easy thing to do, especially since Sawyer and Sayid have such an antagonistic, butting heads type relationship. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Locke's the one that knocked Sayid out and destroyed the antennas. But time will tell, I guess, won't it? And speaking of Sayid, I kind of had a revelation at shortly after I finished the last reaction. Every episode I do, I talk about whose backstories I want to learn more about, and I always say, oh, these are the ones we haven't heard from yet. And I never mentioned Sayid's name, and I was trying to figure out why. Because, yeah, he's obviously, in the inner circle of characters. We should want to know more. And I think part of the reason he never came to mind when I was listing names off the top of my head is because I feel like I already know a fair bit about his past. because he's one of the few characters that's actually openly spoken about what he used to do. Now, we don't know what he was doing in Australia. We don't know what he was doing just before, but from his conversation early on with Hurley, we know that he was an Iraqi soldier. He served in the Republican Guard, presumably in the Gulf War, which was back in the early 90s. But when this show came out in 2004, the U.S. was at war with Iraq in the Iraq War. So including an Iraqi character at that time, it's a pretty bold move, especially for an American television network. So I think that's pretty cool. But I feel like Sayid's been one of the characters who's been most open about himself. Well, we don't know a lot. We know more about him than we know about a lot of others. But I am curious to know more. So, yeah, maybe we learned a little bit more about Sayid today. Although, also at the end of the last episode, he walked off into the sunset. I don't know if we're even ever going to see him again. I hope they're not writing him out. I hope he doesn't die off alone. Maybe they're just giving him a bit of a break, and he'll be back in a few episodes. Who knows? We still need to learn more about Boone and Shannon. I'd love to get a Hurley backstory. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think that could be a nice light comic relief backstory for a change compared to some of the heavy stories we've been getting lately. But yeah, I'm just excited to see what this episode holds in store for all of us. So let's get right into it. This is episode 9 of season 1 of Lost, and it's called Solitary. Oh, we got Sayid. So maybe we're just going to follow him for an episode or two. That'd be kind of cool. I wish I could read Arabic. What's that? That looks something man-made. Is it cable? Braided wire? Is it just debris from the crash, or is it something else? Oh, it's a huge cable. Where does it go to on both sides? Which side do you check out first? Do you pull it in, or do you...
You wanted easy, quit moaning. I gotta change these bandages.
We'll try not taking my skin off with it.
Geez, Sawyer, show a little appreciation.
Only reason you're here.
I'm here because no one else wants anything to do with you.
And that's because of what happened. Because of what he did.
It was an accident.
Well, accidents happen when you torture people, Jeff.
Yeah, that's really going to put a rift between the two of them, isn't it? The torturing thing. She can't forgive him for doing that. Still following this cable. Tripwire? Is it like a snare? Is it like the island booby trapped? Someone else has to be... I mean, that's not... Oh, was that just... Ow. Oh, man. Is that just one of Locke's boar traps? I mean, he caught that one when Charlie ran through the other episode. How long is he going to end up hanging upside down? You're going to pass out, especially you got a hole in your leg. So disorienting.
Hello.
Is it just Locke? That looked like a Locke knife.
The usual. People yelling at each other over nothing.
Doc, what do you think this is? This rash, it's bad,
Oh.
right? Like some kind of a tropical
Brand new
disease.
guy.
Hives.
Everybody's way tense. Dude, I'm just saying, it'd be sweet if we could have, I don't know, something to do.
Hurley needs to become like the social director. Be in charge of fun and games. Who's speaking German? Where is Alex? What's this about?
¿Dónde está Alex?
Bunch of different languages.
Where is Alex?
Who is Alex?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Is this flashback or is this now?
Where is Alex?
I'm so confused. Okay, this has to be flashback. He's like in a military uniform, isn't he?
If you want this being communications officer.
Is that the woman in the photos? Is that the woman in the photos that he carries around? Or because I had just assumed that that was like his wife or girlfriend, but maybe it's something more than that.
What are you guys doing out in the jungle at night?
Best time to hunt.
Ethan here has some experience.
Ethan is new. We got a couple of new characters today. Just when I learned everybody's name, I got to remember some new ones. So there's Ethan and the hypochondriac.
Mr. Locke, are you going back out to hunt?
For a bit?
Can I go with you? I mean,
Not gonna happen, man. Let's get back to
Yeah,
bed.
that kid's not going to go boar hunting and survive. That's too huge a risk. This is who's torturing him,
To me.
and where is he?
I thought it might have something to do with a transmission we picked up on a receiver. The French woman repeating on a loop for 16 years.
Is that her? Is she the French woman? Is she still alive?
Quel commandant, je vous en prie, venez à notre aide.
She's speaking French. She's still alive after she's been there 16 years?
Has it really been that long?
Wow. What's her name? Who is she? Oh man, imagine 16 years alone. That's going to mess you up to no end. Like, no way can you stay sane. But she's got herself a whole camp. Rousseau.
How do you know my name?
So is she a sailor?
Broadcast from somewhere else. But they control it now.
They? Who are they? What is going on?
Who is she?
Did he torture
The
her?
woman in the photographs.
Her name is Nadia.
I like how open Sayid is. Like, you know, you ask a question like that to Sawyer and all he does is bullshit.
Nobody calls me Noor, Sayid. You of all people should know that.
So they know each other.
What?
Were they like childhood friends or something?
You don't remember me?
Nadia.
Go on, Sayid. Do your work. I'm not going to tell you anything.
Then I'm going to hurt you.
I know.
I have a bullet wound.
Phew, jeez.
I was a soldier.
Yes. Hurley, hold on, man. I'm busy.
Oh, Hurley's got a project.
Hurley, what are you doing?
Hurley's got a master plan.
And Nadia, you left her too?
She wasn't on the plane. She's dead.
Did he kill her?
I want to show you something.
I still need to know how she ended up there. What
Welcome
does Hurley have here?
to the first and
Golf clubs.
hopefully last Island Open.
They're gonna play golf.
This is what you've been wasting your time on?
It's not a waste.
Listen, our lives suck. Freaking polar bears.
Polar bears?
You didn't hear about the polar bear?
They didn't tell everyone about the polar bear yet. That's awesome.
And just surviving's not gonna cut it. We need some kind of relief, you know? We need some way
Mental
that we
health
can-
days. Jack knows he's right.
It was a gift from my lab for our anniversary.
You mean Alex?
Robert,
So who's Alex?
what is written on the back of your photograph?
What are you doing?
Did she write it? Or did
What
you?
drugs does she have?
Perhaps you don't want to tell me because it causes too much pain.
She's crazy. Ah! What did she just give him? Ugh. Come on, guys.
This is the problem, man. Yeah.
Play a couple
I know
holes.
what I do, but
Or are they already playing?
okay.
I think you got to lay up with a sandwich.
Give me a 7 out.
Got it.
That's awesome.
Hey! What are you guys doing?
We're playing golf.
Are you playing golf?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love golf.
Can I play?
I like that they're expanding the roles a little bit. They're introducing a few new characters from the other survivors.
Sorry about the sedative.
Why'd she
No
sedate him?
safe way for me to move you.
Oh, she mapped the whole island?
To fix my music box. Why?
He likes to feel useful. And he's a good man.
I want to know your name. Your first name.
Something Rousseau. Danielle Rousseau.
We were part of a science team.
A science team armed with rifles. Was Robert on the team?
Yes.
And Alex?
And Alex, was he too?
Our vessel was 3 days out of Tahiti.
The message I heard, you said it killed them all.
Does she know what the monster is? She must.
It was them.
Who's them?
They were the carriers.
Who were the carriers?
The others.
What others? What is the Black Rock?
Out there in the jungle. They whisper.
I've got as many questions as Sayid right now. I mean, that was just like a whole information dump.
You think I'm insane?
16 years alone, you're not going to be all together.
You've been alone
for a long time.
One outcast to another? I think about making more of an effort.
I got a funny feeling Sawyer knows that she was the prisoner being transported. Like, he was the one that got the gun off the marshal. I think he's just sort of sitting on that little secret, which is why I think he's half obsessed with her, because he knows she's a bad girl. Oh dear.
Where are you going?
If we're lucky, it's one of the bears.
Might be that thing out there.
Why is she going out?
The monster.
There's no such thing as monsters.
So what is it? She knows what it is. Did he keep the little screwdriver? Can he pick his handcuffs?
You have had more than a month, Sayid. Now bring her outside and shoot her.
Oh man, he's not going to be able to do that, is he? He is handy. He managed to just pick all his locks with that little screwdriver. And now he can get a gun and ammo and a map. Oh man, he's taking everything. I mean, he's smart. Like, that's what you get for being a good soldier. What? What was that? Somebody's face? Was I supposed to recognize it? Oh, what's going to happen to Walt? I'm curious about Walt and Michael. They have completely different backstories, obviously. You know, they've been separated for years.
Put it down on the ground. Don't.
We're not just going to shoot her all of a sudden, are we? I don't think Sayid's a killer, is he? He's not going to be able to do this here. Or is he going to do it and take that pain for the rest of his life?
What's going on? Come with me.
I can't.
I can't.
What does she write?
Nadia, you have to go. You escaped, you stole my gun, and you shot him. And then you shot me.
Oh, he gave himself his own gun wound. I hope we learn what she wrote.
The firing pin has been removed. Robert didn't notice it was missing either. When I shot him.
She killed.
He was sick. He took them. One after the other.
Illness?
I had no choice.
You killed them.
She's so crazy.
Let you go.
Oh yeah, she's like a serial killer.
You'll find me in the next life. If not in this one.
What?
The writing on the back of Nadia's photograph.
Oh.
You don't have to be alone, Danielle.
And she's a lost cause, I think. I mean, Sayid, you know, he's like Jack. He wants to help everyone, but you can't help everybody. Sometimes your patient dies, no matter what you do.
Your people. Watch them closely.
Is there some truth to what she's saying?
Danielle!
Are they going to start getting sick in a couple of months?
Who is Alex?
Alex was my child.
Was Alex on the island too? Man, did she kill her own child, her own son?
I got 2 tubes of sunscreen, a flashlight, says he chokes.
Oh, there's some action. And he's making an effort.
I'll take that action.
Oh, there's some double meaning in there. Jack's losing Kate. I didn't see Locke at the golf course. What's he been up to all episode? Practicing his knife throwing?
Can you teach me how to do that?
Must be hard being the only kid on the island. Jeez, it looks big in his hands. Sayid gonna have to spend the night in the woods, in the jungle, with the bears or the monster, except there are no monsters. What is it? Are those those whispers? Are those the others? Or the carriers, or them? What are we supposed to call those whispers? Wow, so I got lucky and guessed that maybe we'd learn a little more about Sayid at the intro. I did not see us meeting a bunch of new characters. We meet a couple of new survivors. It's like they gave lines to a couple of extras. So we have Ethan, and we have that other guy, the hypochondriac. I don't think we've actually learned his name yet. I hope they didn't just have the one episode of lines. I hope they sort of become new voices in the crowd. I was saying, I've just sort of learned everybody's name. Finally, learned everybody's name from the initial group that we've been introduced to. So it makes sense that now that we've sort of internalized all of that, we can add a few more into the mix. But much bigger news, we get a brand new character. We get Danielle Rousseau, who is a shipwreck survivor. She's the one that put out the emergency broadcast from 16 years ago, and surprise, surprise, she's still alive, and she's a little crazy. Aside from that, she brings up these, she referred to them a bunch of different things. She says, she calls them, they're the others, they're the carriers, the ghosts of her fellow survivors that she ended up murdering. Are they something else? Clearly, it's what Sayid was hearing right at the very end of this episode, those whispers in the jungle. So very curious to see what that turns out to be. And Danielle, I can't imagine what it must be like living alone for 16 years with no other human contact, where you're completely responsible for your own survival. That's got to do something for your mental health. So frankly, it wouldn't ring true if she wasn't a little bit mentally unhinged, I think. I hope we get to learn a lot more about her in the coming episodes. I hope Sayid gets back safely to the survivors. It'll be interesting. I think because it's Sayid, he will tell everyone what he knows about her. But it'll be interesting to see how the other how the survivors react to finding out that Danielle is out there, because that may really affect the direction that they're going. Otherwise, I just really like that this episode, other than Sayid's situation, didn't have drama. I love that Hurley's sort of become in charge of the mental health of the group, the social director. The fact that he decided what we really need is some golf, and clearly they did, because everybody came to play and watch and participate and just have a little fun and relaxation and take the edge off, because all they've been dealing with since the moment of the crash has been stress upon stress upon stress, and sometimes you just need to whack a little white ball around in a giant green field. So I thought that was a really fun touch. Every time I feel like I'm getting a handle on what the show's about, something completely new is thrown into the mix, and I'm right back at square one trying to figure everything out from scratch. Sayid's backstory, in a weird way, it didn't do anything to tell me much more about him. It all fits the character that we've already learned about. It was really nice to see some of this backstory and to learn more about the woman in the photo that he carries. But it just kind of reinforced what we already know about him, that at heart, he is a good man. We know he was in the Republican Guard and that he did some bad things, but we also know that he regrets so much. I'm hoping down the road we find out what he was doing in Australia, but that'll come, and I don't feel that that's necessarily central to a character like Sayid. There's a reason we flashed back years and years ago as opposed to what he was doing just before the crash. It seems like we're flashing back to those key moments in their lives that really define them. No, it was good to learn more about Sayid. So, I'm excited because I get to watch another episode right away. So I'm going to sign off on this one. Thank you guys so much for all your comments and feedback. You don't know how much I look forward to seeing that stuff every time I drop a new video. It's really like one of the highlights of my day, getting all this positive reinforcement from you guys. I'm excited that we're all on this journey together. If you are liking what I'm doing and you haven't already, please consider giving me a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. It'd be great for the channel. I'm blown away by how much the channel's grown just in the last month, and it's all because of you guys. So thank you guys. Thank you all so very much, and we'll see you again soon. Until then, take care, stay healthy, and cheers.